Welcome to our first question walkthrough for the course. These walkthroughs are meant to assist you in a few ways. First, this will be one of the opportunities to see the types of questions that you'll encounter on the exam. While the questions aren't pulled directly from the certification exam, they are of similar quality and difficulty, and will give you exposure to this style of questioning. Second, we want to show you methods we consider to be helpful when you're working with multiple choice questions. These methods work to help you focus on what you're looking for and identify any distractors you may encounter on the exam. And third, these questions will provide you with additional information. Any questions you feel confident in will reinforce your knowledge in that area, and any questions that reveal gaps in your knowledge will help you to identify focuses in your studies going forward. As we go through each of the questions, we'll generally follow a particular format. We'll start by reading through the question, sometimes called the stem. Then we'll identify keywords and phrases in the stem that show you exactly what you're looking for in the responses or answers. After that, we'll go through the responses and give you time to figure out if you can identify the correct response yourself. Just as a note, we also call correct responses keys, and incorrect responses are called distractors. After you've been given a chance to figure it out yourself, we'll go through the responses and discuss why they're correct or incorrect. If at any point you want more time to try and figure it out for yourself, just pause and start again when you think you're ready. Okay, now that I've given you that background information, let's get started with our first question. A company is designing a human genome application using multiple Amazon EC2 Linux instances. The high-performance computing application requires low latency and high-performance network communication between the instances. Which solution provides the lowest latency between the instances? Looking at this stem, the question will help to determine what keywords you need to be aware of. The question is asking which solution would provide the lowest latency between the instances. The solutions are going to be the responses, but what instances are they talking about? Those would be the Amazon EC2 Linux instances being used for the HPC application. So to rephrase, you were looking for the solution that would provide the lowest latency between instances in an HPC application environment. A couple of things you'll want to note. The solution needs to be the lowest latency, and the solution needs to be usable in an HPC build. Now that the question has been evaluated, the responses for this are A. Launch the EC2 instances in a cluster placement group. B. Launch the EC2 instances in a spread placement group. C. Launch the EC2 instances in an autoscaling group spanning multiple regions. And D. Launch the EC2 instances in an autoscaling group spanning multiple availability zones within a region. I'll give you some time to see if you can figure out the correct response. If you would like more time, this is your last opportunity to pause. I'll resume discussion in 3, 2, 1. Starting with A, this recommends that the instances be placed into a cluster placement group. Knowing that this style of placement group is specifically designed to launch instances physically near each other for low latency network performance, this already sounds like a great option. But before you go ahead and move on, always make sure there isn't a better solution. Response B proposes that the instances be launched into a spread placement group. Knowing that a spread style placement group is designed for availability and not to reduce latency, this is not better than A. The next two responses are similar. Both suggest using an autoscaling group, but C says to launch the group across multiple regions, while D says to stay within a single region but across availability zones. You know these are wrong because they're both going to be higher latency than response A. Additionally, response C isn't possible. Autoscaling groups can span multiple availability zones, but not multiple regions. So it looks like response A is the key after all. That's it for now. I'll talk to you soon.